Hello, everybody. It's John King with Summit Funding, and thank you for joining my Business Booster live stream webinar series. Today's broadcast is actually pre-recorded. I am currently in Hawaii, probably have a Mai Tai in my hand, sitting by the pool, enjoying some relaxing time with my family. But I wanted to make sure to deliver on my promise of giving you this great information every single Thursday at 1:30. So this week and next week, I will be out of town, but you'll still get the broadcast. So please join me live so that you can get the information. If you have any questions or comments, please post them in comments. I won't bring them up live like I normally do because I'm not going to be here. But I will watch afterwards and catch any comments or questions you have about anything. And I'd love for you to like and share this video with anybody you know that could get value out of this information. So today's Business Booster broadcast is going to be on the topic of the three hats of an entrepreneur. And really, it's based on a book that is called The E-Myth. The E-Myth really is a, a Bible on running a business like a business. And it tells the story of a pie shop owner. And this pie shop owner made absolutely the best pies ever. And she was told by all of her friends, you need to open a pie business because you're amazing at making pies and everybody would buy your pies. And it reminds me a lot of people in the real estate industry. I love helping people buy homes. I love real estate. Just because you love doing something doesn't necessarily mean that you should open a business doing that. And that's really the topic I want to talk about today is we're entrepreneurs. Our job, even if you're working under somebody else's brokerage, the truth is you are running your own business. You decide what your day looks like. You decide what your time looks like. You decide how are you building this business and what are you doing to make it the business that you want it to be. And I want to make sure that you are really doing the things within all three of the categories that you need to be in. And those three categories are the three hats of the business owner. And those three hats are things that we don't focus enough on. We think about our primary hat, and our primary hat is the technician. The technician is the person that is the practitioner, the person that does the work. In the story of the E-Myth, the book of the E-Myth, the practitioner is the pie shop owner, and she makes the pies. And she's great at making pies, and she makes, again, the most wonderful pies that anybody could ever ask for. But here's the truth. She's not a business owner. She's the owner of a job. And if you think about it, you almost have more security when you work for somebody else because the business owner takes all of the risk. And depending upon how it's structured, you may not get that much better of a reward. If business is not going well as the owner of your business, you're the one that is taking the brunt of the extra work that needs to be done. As a entrepreneur, everything is your job. You are the chief cook and the bottle washer. You are in charge of everything from soup to nuts. It reminds me a lot of the old TV shows where you'd call the hotel and they'd answer the phone. Hello, thank you for calling the hotel. How may I help you? Yeah, can I have the reservation desk? Absolutely. Hold on a second. Hello, reservation desk. Oh, you need housekeeping. Hold on a second. Hello, housekeeping. You are every one of those people. You are doing any and every job that needs to get done. And the problem is if you're spending so much time in your business, then you're not spending any time on your business. And that's really what I want to talk about today is the other three hats that you need to wear in your business is not just the technician. The technician's job is to be the practitioner, to be the person who is executing the day-to-day activities that need to happen. And if you're spending 100% of your time being the technician, you're totally missing the boat on the actual more important components of being the business owner. Now, a lot of us understand that our job is to be the entrepreneur. I'm the visionary. I want to build all of these things, and you're looking towards the future. And that's one of the three hats, first being the technician, the second one being the entrepreneur. And many of us think big. and we put on our vision planning goggles and we think about, man, in 5 years, what's my business going to look like? I'm going to accomplish this. I'm going to build a business with this big of a team and I have this many team members. And by the way, I'm speaking to real estate agents, but the truth is, I'm speaking to anybody and everybody that owns a business, especially a small business that you're building up from scratch. And sometimes you're in a position like I'm in where you kind of co own a business. I don't own Summit Funding, but I run my own team. I run a business within a business. And my compensation is based upon how well and how profitably I run this business. So don't confuse the fact of, are you truly the business owner? You can be an entrepreneur, even if as a realtor, you're not necessarily the broker owner. Maybe you're a financial planner, but you don't own your financial planning practice. You work under somebody else's business. The truth is, you're likely compensated based on how well you run your business, and therefore you are an entrepreneur. You are the technician, and you are the third hat, which is the manager. And I'll get into that in a couple of minutes. Here's the key about being the entrepreneur. You have to stop every once in a while and do planning. You have to think big picture. We are really good at that the moment we have the thoughts of, I can open a business. I can be I can be a real estate agent, and I can go out and I can quit my day job and I can become a realtor. And you start thinking as an entrepreneur. It's the exciting thing that got you to want to open this business. It's the exciting thing that said, I want to open my own pie shop. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I can set my own hours. I have unlimited income potential. I don't have to answer to anybody. That all sounds great. The truth is, you answer to everybody. You've just made the entire world, all of your clients have become your boss. So instead of answering to one boss, you answer to many bosses, and it becomes harder to shut it down. It becomes way harder. I know you know these things, but I want you to take a couple minutes to spend this 30 minutes with me and think about how you run your business. And do you really think this way? Because it's really difficult when you are the business owner and your client calls you and says, hey, can you come help me whatever at 8 o'clock at night tonight? Well, if you worked for somebody else, it'd be simple. The answer is, well, no, I'm not working during those hours. But if you run the business as the entrepreneur, you're like, well, I can't afford to lose that business. I can't afford to lose that opportunity. It's it's really when you're in the infancy stage of building your business as the entrepreneur, your goal is to find a clients. Like that's your focus, right? From step one, your focus is, how do I find a clients? And you will take anybody. Your ability to have discretion, to be able to discern which clients you should spend more time on and which ones you shouldn't, doesn't exist. You're willing to give any and all of your time to any and all of your clients, regardless of the likelihood of getting a paycheck from them, regardless of the demands that they're placing on you, because you're in the infancy of your business as an entrepreneur. You're afraid. You're afraid that your business is going to slow down. You're afraid that, slow down, you're afraid it's never going to get off the ground. You've invested money into this. You've quit the day job. You now have to pay for your own insurance. You're spending money out of your savings and you have fear and you're just looking for A clients. I will tell you that your right clients will work with you within the rules you set around your business and around your time. And as an entrepreneur, it's really, really hard to set those rules for yourself. So I strongly recommend that you reach out to somebody. I'd be happy to be the person that talks to you about this and just think about, hey, what rules do I need to put into place in my business? What boundaries do I need to put in place to make sure that I am not overstepping what I told myself I would do? We have promises we've made to our families. We have promises we've made to our friends. We have promises we've made to ourselves. And it is really easy as the entrepreneur to be focused on the vision in the future. What's my business going to look like? And sacrifice the present for the dream of the future. Do not sacrifice the present for the dream of the future. But also don't confuse the fact that life comes in seasons. And let's use the example of being a farmer. If you are a farmer, then you know there are seasons in which you must plant, and there's seasons in which you must prune, and there's seasons in which you must harvest. And you can change the seasons if you want, and you can say, you know what, I don't want to plant in the spring. I want to plant in winter. Well, that's great, but depending upon the climate on where you're at, the likelihood of those plants growing are slim to none. Now, you can plant anytime you want. You are the entrepreneur. You are in charge of your destiny. But if you decide I'm going to set ground rules and I'm going to say, hey, you know what, I'm only going to work 2 hours a week and I'm going to work those 2 hours from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. on Thursday mornings, the chances of that working for your client, your target client, pretty slim, but it is your choice. So you got to balance what is the right amount of time to spend with my clients. And if my clients demand my time on the weekends and at nights, then draw the line during the middle of the day. Say, hey, I'm going to take Tuesdays and Wednesdays off because you're not, or maybe you only don't take 2 days off in a row. Maybe I'm going to take Tuesdays and Thursdays off. But you find time that you can carve out that says, I don't need to be available for everybody all the time. The most powerful word in the English language is no. And as the entrepreneur, you don't want to say no, you want to say yes. You want to say yes to the opportunities, you want to say yes to the vision, and you want to do anything and everything possible to make that vision come true. Because as the entrepreneur, you are focused on the future. Now, I'm going to tie all this together, but I'm going to now talk for a couple minutes about the third hat that you wear, which is the manager. I will tell you that most entrepreneurs struggle the most at this category. Most entrepreneurs, they miss the boat in how to be the manager. So I told you that the technician is the practitioner. They are doing the work in the moment. The entrepreneur is the visionary. It's the one that's looking to the future that says, hey, what am I trying to build? Where is it going? And how do I see myself getting there? What steps do I have to take to get there? The problem with the entrepreneur is the dirty middle. So you got the activities you're doing today, you've got the vision for the future, and then you have the dirty middle. The dirty middle is what the manager does. The manager focuses on the recent, past, and the present, and the planning around the activities that you are executing or just executed. Let me give you some examples. The manager has to work on payroll. Pretty important step. As the technician, you're saying, hey, I'm the real estate agent. I'm out there on the feet on the ground, running around, taking care of my clients, but I hired 2 people to help me out. And as the entrepreneur, you made the decision, I need to hire help. And so you're going to be the technician because you're doing the work, and your 2 helpers are going to be technicians as well. But who manages the technicians? Who manages the activities and the delegation and who does what? Speaking of delegation, join me next Thursday at 1:30 for this same time slot. And I'll be talking on the Business Booster class, Business Booster webinar about the art of delegation. I'm going to talk about how to use outside resources to save yourself time and to save yourself money. That's super, super important, whether the outside resources are outside of you or outside of your company. You can hire virtual, you can hire temporary, you can hire per service, or you can hire a specific person that just is owned by you. We'll talk about the pros and cons of all of that stuff next week. But as the manager of your business, you have to take care of those employees. You've got to write them performance reviews. You've got to make sure that you are following up with them to make sure that there's policies and procedures in place. It's actually the biggest mistake, and I'll talk way more about this next week, but it is the biggest mistake of an entrepreneur to focus on growing a team and not giving very clear direction to that team. And then you feel like your team failed you. You didn't delegate well. You didn't give them clear direction. But as the technician, well, you're just one of the gang doing the work. As the entrepreneur, you're saying, I hired these people. That's their job to figure it out. They've done this at another company. They should be able to do it here. But guess what? They can't read your mind. They can't do their own payroll and write their own checks. They can't do their own performance reviews. You have to make sure that as the somebody, now you can hire a manager, but in the beginning, most of us are not going to hire a manager. So you have to be in charge of this, and you have to make sure you're spending time in this portion of your business managing your business. So time wise, I would strongly suggest when you think about how much time do you spend in each area of your business, that you think about it this way. 80% of your time should be spent working in your business. That is the technician. And for a lot of us, that's really easy because we spend 100% of our time working in our business. But the truth is, you need to spend 80 to maybe 90% of your time working in your business. You need to spend maybe 5% of your time wearing the hat of the entrepreneur, vision planning, looking at your goals, following up on your goals to make sure that you're on track. By the way, a goal that is written down has significantly higher likelihood of being accomplished than a goal that you just thought of and didn't write down. But a goal that's written down and reviewed regularly is exponentially more likely to come true. So I'll do a live stream down the road sometime about goal planning and vision setting and that kind of thing. But a couple of quick tactics when you think about being an entrepreneur and the time that you spend as an entrepreneur, a lot of that time is spent big picture vision planning. And a great vision planning exercise is for you to write a letter to yourself as you 5 years from now, describing your business and what just happened over the last year. So let me explain this in a different way. Growing up, we all had a great Aunt Edna that would send out a Christmas letter every single week, and that Christmas letter would say, "Hey, let me tell everybody what's going on. I've got, my 4 kids did this, and the oldest one did that, and he won a trophy for this, and the second kid did this, and they're the smartest one in that." And they've explained everything that happened. And we just got back from a vacation going to Puerto Vallarta, and they basically recapped the entire year in a single letter to everybody in the family explaining what happened. I want you to write that letter as if you were great Aunt Edna, and you're writing it to your current self, saying, "Hey, John, it is December of 2027, and man, what an amazing year it's been. My kids just graduated from this prestigious college, and I was able to pay for the college, and they're getting a job doing blankety blank, and they are going into that job with 0 student loans because over the last 5 years I was able to fund the college fund that I knew I wanted to have for them. My wife and I just came back from a vacation, and we spent a month in Paris, and it was great because I was able to run my business from Paris and be able to spend half a day, 2 days a week in my business, and the rest of the time I had my team running it because I've got an amazing team that does a great job for me." That is the type of thinking. And what I tell you when you think about stuff like that is dream bigger, faster. I will tell you that when you dream like this, when you write a vision like that as an entrepreneur, you end up shortchanging yourself. Every time I've done a 5-year vision, I have finished and accomplished pretty much everything in that vision long before the 5 years were up. And I've always thought, man, what if I would have written it with a bigger dream? What if I would have thought bigger and thought, beyond my wildest dreams? Anything in life can change in 5 years. Anything in life can change in 5 years. And so you just have to make sure that you dream bigger, faster. When you are the entrepreneur, write that letter to yourself. Read it every 6 months and cross off the pieces that you have accomplished. And think about, where do you want your business to go to help you get there? That doesn't take a lot of your time. When I say 5% of your time, maybe it's an hour every other week that you spend doing that. It's not a lot of time. The key to where you spend your time is, other than being the technician, is you need to spend your time being the manager. By the way, as a reminder, this broadcast was pre-recorded. I am away on vacation, so I am spending time away from my business, but this is a great example of delegation and of planning a business by design, because I'm actually recording this ahead of time, but I'm still executing on the expectations I laid out. I told you I was going to do this broadcast every single Thursday at 1:30. But I also set expectations with my family that when we're on vacation, I'm not going to spend the time on vacation doing live broadcasts. So I use technology to help me out. I pre-record the broadcast. You're still getting what you expect from me, a little bit different, but I'm still honoring the guidelines. I'm honoring the framework that I have set with my family. So when we think about being a manager, this is where most people fail. They fail to plan the current activities of their business, especially when you have people that are working for you executing those goals. So the manager needs to be 15 to 20% of your time. So when you're talking about a 40-hour week, you need to be spending 6 to 8 hours a week as the manager. Now, maybe that means that, hey, I'm going to be the manager half a day on Monday. So I'm going to spend 4 hours on Monday in management activities. That means that I'm looking at my P&L. That means that I'm looking at my cash flow statements. I'm looking at the bills and I'm paying bills. I'm looking at accounting issues. I'm thinking about insurance and talking to the insurance person about whether I have the right amount of coverages. All of those things fall into the manager, but you've got to block out time for it. You have to put time in your calendar that says, I'm going to spend 4 hours on Monday working on this. And then maybe an hour or two other times of the week. Maybe you're spending that time coaching your team, time that you're spent training. You're the manager when you are training other people. So if you have people on your team, don't forget to invest in them and train them. Don't forget to give them the tools they need. It's one of the biggest things I'll talk about next week in the art of delegation is our expectations are people can read our mind and that they can do things as good as we can do. And if they don't do it as good as we can do it, then they failed. The truth is we failed by expecting perfection out of them, especially when we didn't give them the tools necessary. So make sure as the manager that you are including time for training. And maybe it's time for training yourself. Because if you're the only technician in your business, then you need to spend time as the manager thinking about, hey, what training does my staff need? By the way, I'm the only staff. How do I get that training for my staff? Where do I go? What conferences do I need to attend? Be strategic in what you're picking to do. Make sure that you're not spending time on things. Hey, this one looks good because it's in Las Vegas. Nothing wrong with going to a conference in Las Vegas. But if the only reason you're going to a conference is because it's in Las Vegas, then just skip the conference and go to Las Vegas and have fun. But don't go to a conference simply because of the vacation time. Okay. So the key here is as the manager, make sure that you are spending time on your business regularly. Again, the activities being predefined. And what that means is that when something comes up that is the manager's responsibility, do not act on it immediately. Do not act on it immediately. I need you to set it aside for the next time you have set aside for being the manager. That's where you have to literally take off the hat and put on the other hat. And when it is time to be the technician, be the technician. Do not get drawn out of being the technician by saying, oh, I've got a manager, be entrepreneur. But when it's time to be the entrepreneur and it's time to be the manager, then you have to put boundaries around your job as a technician. If somebody calls and says, I need your services right now, you know what? I'm taking today for training. I'm taking today for business planning. I'll get back to you tomorrow. You put that on your phone, you put that on your email, you make it clear. I shut down my business at least twice a year for a day. And really, I should do it 4 times a year. So the plan for managing your business at the high level is to do retreats at ideally a quarterly retreat. If you have staff, then I recommend a quarterly retreat where you spend a half a day every quarter talking about business, talking about the vision for the future, talking about your performance and how well you've done in the past, and making sure that everybody is on the same page with common goals and expectations, and that everybody knows where we've been and has an opportunity to help you grow in the future. And that growth comes from something called the SWOT analysis, SWOT. The SWOT analysis stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And every quarter, you and your team, and if it's only you, then you by yourself, need to sit down and list in all 4 categories, what are my strengths? What are the things that I do best? Because sometimes we are our hardest critic, and we've got to recognize the things that we are doing well. Maybe that means that you need to talk about it more. You need to make it clear, have a little swag and say, hey, you should use me because these are my strengths. This is what I do really well. And you need to do these things. You need to use me because I'm really good at these things. So your strengths are important things to recognize. So are your weaknesses. Now, when I focus on growing things in my business, a lot of people say, hey, shore up your weaknesses. No, I like to hire somebody to help me with my weaknesses because I'm weak at it. That means I'm not very good and my ability to get better is small. So focus on the things that I'm strong at to get significantly better. Delegate or outsource your weaknesses, but before you can delegate or outsource your weaknesses, you have to recognize what are my weaknesses. And so it is super, super important that you notate on a quarterly basis, these are my weaknesses. So that's strengths, that's weaknesses. Opportunities. Opportunities are things outside of you and outside of your business that you could chase, that you could say, hey, I have an opportunity to go after a new market. I have an opportunity as a financial planner to partner with a credit union that doesn't offer financial planning services. That's an opportunity. You got to think outside the box. As a realtor, I have an opportunity to partner with the new business that just moved into town that's going to be hiring a bunch of employees because they're going to be recruiting people and they're going to need somebody to show those people around town and to convince them that this is the city they should move to and this is the company they should work for. And partnering with a realtor to do those tours is a great opportunity. But you have to think about your business and think about your opportunities, and you have to take time, half a day every quarter, to think about these things as the manager and as the entrepreneur. The final component of the SWOT analysis is threats. Threats are things that can majorly handicap your business. So, threats, health is a major threat. If your business is a business of me, then you've got to be concerned about your health. If you are sick, if you are have a major illness, catastrophic illness, your business won't continue. What does that mean for your family? What does that mean for your children? Have you thought about that? So you've got to think about those threats and how they play into how you're operating your business. So that's the SWOT analysis. Now, the other thing that I do twice a year, and COVID has absolutely thrown this out the window, but I do 4 retreats a year that are half a day talking about business, but 2 of those 4 retreats we spend as a whole day. The second half of the day, we go have fun. So we do the retreat somewhere that's fun, and then we go have fun, team building, camaraderie. It's super important to be social and to show appreciation to the people that work with you and to help you carry your business. And so, as the manager, you have to plan all of this stuff. That's not the entrepreneur's job. The entrepreneur's job is the visionary of what are we trying to build. The manager says, what steps do we have to take to get there? And that's daily steps, that's weekly and monthly steps, and then it's quarterly and annual steps like what I just described. So as a reminder, guys, first of all, this is a pre-recorded broadcast. This is a broadcast because I'm on vacation this week, and so I will be this will be coming out. It's coming to you right now as pre-recorded. So please post comments. Please tell me your thoughts. Just know I won't respond to them immediately, but I will get back to you and give you some feedback. If you want to schedule one-on-one time with me to talk about this and how this plays into your business, I would love to do so. The truth is, this is applicable for any business owner. You might be a loan officer dealing with these issues. You could be a real estate agent. You could be a financial planner. You could be an attorney, any number of businesses. I have been professionally coached for the last 11 years. I have been a professional coach for the last 5. And I've learned a lot about how to build a business and how to grow a business. And I want to be able to help you grow your business. I want to be able to help you think about your business with the right mindset, with the right activities that you're doing, with the right people doing the right activities at the right time. So, super, super important to think about that. Next week, I'm going to talk about delegation. As part of delegation, I'm going to get into this topic of efficiency versus expansion. And I'll give you a sneak peek on it, give you kind of a teaser on why you need to come back and join me next Thursday. So, efficiency is being more efficient with your time, getting more out of the business, getting more out of the people that you have. Expansion is growing the time that you have. Expansion is buying more machinery. Expansion is hiring more people. And I will tell you, most business owners have this backwards. They expand when they should be focusing on efficiency. They're focused on efficiency when they should be expanding. We zig when we should zag, and we zag when we should zig. And I will explain to you efficiency versus expansion. And next week, when we talk about delegation, that's going to come to a big piece of, hey, should I be delegating to myself or someone else? I don't know. I do know, but I'm not going to tell you yet. So next week, I'm going to talk about the art of delegation. We're going to talk about expansion versus efficiency, when you should grow versus when you should be focused on getting more refined and getting more out of what you have already. So tomorrow I am doing another pre-recorded broadcast. Tomorrow's broadcast, I'm going to be talking to consumers, to your clients, to your prior buyers and homeowners, your future buyers and homeowners, your current people who are looking to buy a home, and we're going to talk about credit. We're going to demystify credit. I'm going to talk about how to build it, how to repair it, how to maximize it. There are so many myths and misunderstandings about credit, and I'm going to help you and your clients understand how to use credit wisely and actually what things you shouldn't care about. Because there are people who are focused too much on perfection and credit or trying to get just above a certain number, and it's actually causing them problems. So I'm going to help explain all of that. So if you haven't registered already, go to rsvpwithjohn.com. You can register for my Thursday Business Booster webinars. You can register for my Friday Financial Fridays webinars. Please forward that link to your past clients in your database. RSVP with John. They can get to both Business Booster and Financial Fridays, and really help me to share this. If you haven't already, please go to my YouTube channel and subscribe and click the notification bell to be notified about future future whenever I whatever I'm trying to say. When I release videos, you'll be notified when I release those videos. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Please share this on social media as well. Comment and let me know what you thought about it. Give me a big thumbs up. And I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow for credit repair. And then I'm going to be looking forward to seeing you next week on Thursday, where we talk about the art of delegation. Have an absolutely amazing week. Aloha. I'm going to get back to my Mai Tai. I'm probably already in the middle of it. Hope everybody has a wonderful week. My team is still here to take great care of you, so business goes on even when I'm gone. So please make sure to continue to support me. Send business. My team will be here. I am working with them a couple hours a day, so I'm still involved, and I'm looking forward to continuing to take great care of you. Holler if you need anything, and have a great